We are back. The bulls are back. The bulls are in control. And we shouldn't be watching some key levels, or should we? That's what I'm going to talk to you today. That's what I'm going to show you today. Some key levels in case things still can go south and in case things can still go wrong. Some altcoins that I'm watching. I'm still watching altcoins. And also the levels that I'm going to watch. Because I do believe that at a certain point, we are going to have some sort of retracement. Everyone is bullish right now. And I don't like that. I like when everyone is afraid. So today I'm going to show you that. Just give you a brief overview of what happened since Thursday, Friday. And then we are going to watch some charts. I'm going to give you some key levels that I think that we might hit. And why I think they might be an opportunity also. So first thing you need to do is subscribe to the channel. And then we are going to watch the charts. So like I was saying, things might still go south. Everyone is a bull right now. And we are going to start to hear again, sell in May and go away. I'm going to address that also with data. You know that I only watch data and only take data and use data for my decisions, not emotions. But first you need to understand that the conflict is still a mess. Every time the US is going to open, there's a deal. Every time the US closed, there's no deal. And now we just got this. And it will be recycled when the US starts to wake up. And it's this, okay? Iran says war with US likely to resume. We don't know if it's propaganda or not. We know it's moving the markets, especially during the US session. It's moving the markets. So you need to be careful today. I'm going to try to do some live trading, but be aware of this. I cannot control the news. I cannot control the tweets. So we need to be ready for that, okay? I will try to position myself for the outcome that I think is going to happen this weekend. We will do the live trading like I always do, but be ready for some volatility because of the news, because everyone is expecting that the ceasefire will be over, etc. So be ready for that, okay? Just a small heads up. Now, regarding crypto, because today I want to talk about crypto. Good news. ISM, it's still expanding. It's still above 52. If you watch my show here on this channel, I did an entire show explaining why ISM above 52, not 50, 52, was bullish for the market. This means the economy is in an expansion mode, and probably we are going to see, how can I say this? We are going to see a bullish the rest of 2026. Let's say like this. If the war is over, okay? And I want to be clear here. This is a big if, but if the war is over, maybe we get a final push for 2026. Now, I said I would not talk about the Clarity Act. I wanted to stand by it, but I have to. And today I have to because finally everyone is saying there is a deal, and everyone is saying there is a deal. We might have a deal, right? And it was Brian Armstrong that blocked. The US likes to block a lot of things. State of Hormuz, the Clarity Act must be a US thing. But Brian Armstrong blocked the Clarity Act because of the yields. And now he's saying to mark it up. So there's this tweet here saying the final reward text in the Clarity Act is not public. I need to go deep dive on this. I'm not going to talk about this today. But I don't think that things change that many, to be honest with you. But they need to mark it up. And they need to do it in the week of the 11th of May. So next Saturday when I'm here, we'll be discussing if they did it or not. Okay, if they did it or not, or if it's on the schedule for the markup. And now we go to the charts. And now I want to tell you, if everything goes well and the war is over, we have a deal, I think we are going to be very happy the next months, especially because the S&P 500 and all the stocks are still doing all-time highs, and I already talk about here about diminished returns. That's what I think it's going to happen. I think we'll see a rotation because there will be diminished returns regarding stocks. Okay, that doesn't mean we are not going to have some bumps on the way. We are going to have some bumps on the way, of course. And I want to tell you another thing. Everyone is always saying, do not be exposed, or you are exposed. And when it's going up, you are afraid of not being exposed. And when it's going down, you are afraid of being exposed. You need to realize this. if you have an equilibrium in your portfolio and you are ready for both scenarios, you don't have any issue with this. Because what I've seen daily on the social network is like, you are too exposed, that's why you are afraid of the market if it dumps. You are not exposed as you should be, and you are afraid if the market pumps. You just need to find that balance. That balance, look, if you ask me right now, I think Bitcoin is going to retrace. Do I don't have my portfolio because of that? Of course not, I already told you. The price of being out, for me, the price of being out of the market, it's higher than being inside of the market. And I have altcoins. And you know why I'm not, I was mocked, it's mocked how you say in English, right? Because I was a Dino coin guy. But Dino coins are the only ones that survive. Are the only ones that are surviving. And Dino coins is like being conservative on crypto. It's not having Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's Dino coins. It's being conservative. They've been here for multi-cycles. If I'm bearish right now for the short term. On the long term, I'm a bull. But if I'm wrong, my spot portfolio will be happy. If I'm right, I'll add more. And this is the balance, in my opinion, not financial advice, that you should find. And if you find this balance, you will not care if the market goes up or down, unless you are trading. You are just ready for both scenarios. And I think this is something that you should study. And you should be ready for it. Don't care about people. Just don't go for... You can have 1 or 5% for those degen plans. We talk about that. But what I'm always seeing is like, you have altcoins. Altcoins are trash. Altcoins are not trash. Altcoins outperform Bitcoin every cycle. Even this cycle. Because this cycle started in 2022. So just do your research. I'm not going to dive too much on this. But if you are afraid of any of the scenarios, just get a balance. And you'll be okay. If we go higher, we are exposed. If you go lower, you have some dry powder to add to your portfolio. Now, I just said this because I'm tired of people trashing altcoins. Honestly. Now, I just want to show you this. This is the monthly returns on Bitcoin. And everyone is telling you to sell in May. And to be honest, I'm not selling in May. I just told you. I'm always exposed to the market. Okay, always. I take profits, but that doesn't mean I'm fully out of the market. And I feel I'll be saying that to you. I'll not be honest with you. Since I'm in crypto, I've never been fully out of the market. I've always had some kind of exposure. That's the most transparent I can be with all of you. Since I'm here since 2017, I've never been out of the market. Okay, it's like stocks. If you have stocks, you start having stocks, you are always exposed to the market. It's the same with crypto. But yeah, I sold the top. Now, sell in May and go away. The data is inconclusive about this, okay? You need to understand this. If you just do a small count here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you sold in May, since we are tracking this since 2013, you have 6 red Junes and 7 green Junes. So the sell and May and go away crypto related, it's not that accurate. The data don't support any of these actions. Again, you can just count it here. And if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reds in June. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly. There's no conclusive data here. There's no conclusive data here. So it's up to you if you want to sell in May and go away. But the data regarding to crypto doesn't support any of these decisions. Any of them. Sell in May and go away, or keep your portfolio in May and maybe blow it away. Who knows? But the data doesn't support any of these decisions. I just wanted to be clear here because I'm a data guy. I'll be a data guy, and I'll still be tracking data. That's how I take my decisions, or how I make my decisions. Now, another thing that I think you should be aware, it's this. We are no longer on extreme fear. No longer on extreme fear. Okay? We were for a lot of days. We went from extreme fear to fear. And you need to understand that we are rising with the conflict not ended. It's not, the conflict didn't end it yet. With a macro shock, that might haven't been, how can I say this, in full speed yet. You haven't seen yet the rises of the cost of life of everything because of the Strait of Hormuz, but we are rising. And this, for me, it's a red alert. It's a red flag. Okay, for me, it's a red flag. But I want to be wrong on this. And then there was a huge sign on Friday that I want to show you. It was the ETFs on Bitcoin. Crazy. They had like $300 million just for the 𝗖𝗵𝗋, 213 for the FBTC. Crazy on Friday. So, taking this in consideration, there are two things here. The market is pricing a ceasefire or a deal with Iran. Investors are not looking for stocks, although S&P 500 and Dow, etc., they're all hitting all-time highs. But I do believe that will come a time there is no returns there. We talk about this here. We are reaching a point where there will be no returns here on the stock market, and that's when I believe that there will be a rotation to crypto. And when we see this here, this should pay your attention. You should start looking at this. Even Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken, had outflows all week. You can see the net inflows. The net flows, it was minus 135 million. And yesterday, everyone bought crypto. Okay. By the way, this is the platform that you can use. This is a portfolio tracker and a trade journal that you can use for free. The link is in the description. And you even have AI analysis here by 𝗬𝗪. So take advantage of this. It's free. And you have the link here on the description somewhere. Here. Okay. Now, this takes us to Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm short on Bitcoin. And this is I'm scalp trading. Like, you know, I prefer to scalp. I don't like to, how can I say this? To have swing trades till I believe that the worst is over. And I took a short this night because I don't think that it will be a calm weekend. I do not believe it. Okay, if I'm wrong, I get stopped. I'm okay with that. And I even have this alert here. In case you go here, I'm going to add to my short. Okay, because I do think we are going lower. Now, the only thing that it's making me cautiously bullish, and I'm going to show in this chart, it's this. Let me just pull here. We can take out this channel. We don't need it anymore. So, this is something that is, I'm cautiously bullish here. Okay, if you watch my shows on Crypto Decoded, we have the link also on the description. This is my channel, my English channel. Then I have the Portuguese banter channel. But if you watch my shows, when you were here, I said, look, I'm looking for a move. I'm looking for a move till 74500. And why was that? And then we go to the weekly chart. And I will tell you why I was looking for that move. And this is why I'm kinda, let's see. But this was my line on the sand for the move that invalidated the bull cycle. I still think we are in the mid-cycle correction. I don't think we are in a full-blown bear. I know saying bear brings engagement, but I don't think it's a full-blown cycle. Like the same way I don't believe the 4-year cycle. And everyone following the 4-year looks like the April was not as expected. But anyway, this was my line in the sand. And I've been telling you this for a long time. If we reclaim and retest 74500 as support and we hold, then I'll start to be cautiously bullish. And the thing is, we almost tested it. And that's why I'm paying attention right now to the market for a bullish move. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm still cautious here. I'm still cautious, but this is, if you watch this candle here, I think you can see it better here. I remember this day perfectly. We were inside my crypto community. I said, look, we ready for a test of the 74500, and a few hours later we went to 74 on BitGet 900, on Bitfinex and Bluefin 800. And this is the reason why I'm thinking, okay, we might have something here. We broke resistance, we tested as support, and now we might go higher. Now, all of this can be invalidated with a strike, with a tweet, with a no deal, whatever you want to call it. Okay? But so far, looking at this, we have a W, and we might be moving to the upside. Now, to be 100% sure that the move will reverse, I already said this, we need to go above 90K, invert, we need to have a structure shift, we need to sorry, I'm missing the word in English, but we need to have a structure shift, and we need to make sure that then, okay, we validated this move and we can go higher. But I still think there's a slightly chance that we are going to feel this week before going higher. Okay? But I'm paying attention to the charts. And this is why I was having that initial talk with all of you saying, I don't care, or I'm not worried if the market goes higher and I'm wrong, or if it goes lower, because I can add, because I'm okay with my portfolio right now. And this is something that you need to understand. I can be wrong on this analysis. We might shoot up from here to 120K. I don't care, because I am exposed. I have my portfolio, okay? And if I'm wrong, if I'm right, and we go to test this week here, that I've been expecting for a lot of time, then I'm ready to add to my portfolio. And this is how you are an investor. But I'm still trading. I'm still shorting the market, as you saw. Okay? Now, like I said, if we kept rejecting here, I'm waiting for another visit to 74500. And if we fail this retest again, if we come real here, then I'll be looking for 69. Sorry. I'll be looking for 69,000 or even lower. Then we need to assess. Okay, if you follow me, you know I will not be talking about 40K while we are at 78K. Okay, that's futurology. Everyone is waiting for 40K since, I don't know, the beginning of the year. And we haven't been there. Doesn't mean we are not going there, but it doesn't make sense. Look, we are at 78K, I think we are going to 80K, 40K, sorry. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, we'll have levels. When we start to lose those levels, then I'll start looking at that. So far, we conquered a very important resistance. We tested as support, and we are trying to break the 79, 80K resistance. It's like the Gandalf wall. That's what we are seeing here. Till we break this, I think you should be ready to look for these levels here. 74,500 and even 69. Okay, and if we get to 69, then you reassess. And then we'll be watching this, how it reacts here. Do we have a reaction? We don't have a reaction. And then you can start to look for lower. Okay? But I'm not going to cause you stress just because 40K is on the chart. Doesn't make sense for me right now. And it's not my style. Okay? Now, having this in consideration, we are now looking to some altcoins, Ethereum, etc. to understand what we might see here. And, of course, in the end, if the market is okay, we are going, or if we find some trades, when we are checking the charts, then we are going to look we are going to do some live trading. Now, I want to go to Ethereum. And I want to show you one thing regarding Ethereum. Let me see if everyone, let me know where you guys are watching. I always like to know where you are watching when the audience is international one. Someone is saying the selling May works for the bearish fourth year of the cycle. I'm not following the 4-year cycle. Sorry, I don't believe on the 4-year cycle anymore. I understand that people still follow it, but I don't buy it anymore. For me, it was over when we had an all-time high before the halving, and I think this year it's going to be invalidated. Just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm okay. No, and I think that's all right. Yeah, and do not forget to like the live stream. Now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, how can I say this? I'm kind of bullish on Ethereum, although the foundation is selling, but Tom Lee is buying out. As long as we have Tom Lee, we are safe. And how can I say this? I don't dislike Ethereum here. I do not dislike it. But I'm ready for Ethereum to come to these levels here. 1,800. Okay, let me put this higher. I'm ready for this. Does this mean that I am expecting to reach here? I'm not. But I'm ready for this, and I'll explain you why. You see that I have this alert here? It's been trying to break the 2,400 for a long time, and it just can't. Yeah, it just can't break it. But when I go here and I watch this, and I saw again the same thing. Here we rejected and come back inside the range. But here we had a test of the resistance, we come lower, but not as this candle here. And this is a 3-day chart. And we came to test the previous resistance as support, and we hold it, and we're now trying to go higher. Now, being this said, if, this is a big if, and Ethereum has a nasty chart than Bitcoin, but if we can break this resistance here, then I think the worst is over for Ethereum. Okay, the 2,500 is an obvious one. This is why I have an alert. We need to conquer this. But I think the 2,600, if Bitcoin doesn't decide to go lower, for all the reasons that you just said, I do think this will be the confirmation that the worst is over for Ethereum. And how can I say this? I can even give you my example. I started to do some loans on DeFi, and I'm not afraid of DeFi just because of the X, because I did my research on Ethereum. Because right now I think it's a good opportunity. But again, I'm ready for us to come lower. But the only thing, or the only time that I'll be looking for lower is if we break 2,200. Okay? And I'm talking about the daily chart. That doesn't mean we are not going to swing during the day or even during the week. But a weekly close, like we are having some, above 2,200, and I do believe the worst is over for Ethereum. Okay, just my opinion, might be wrong here, but this is what I believe. Now, for this week specifically, and I don't know if we are going to get it because I do think there will be some fireworks in the Middle East. If we can have a weekly close above 2,414, let me mark it here. I think it will be easier. I want a weekly close inside this. Go here. Around these levels. This is what I want. I want a weekly close. I know it's today is Saturday, but doesn't mean it needs to be today. This week it can be the next week. But we need a weekly close above this. And if we have a weekly close here, and then I do think we are going to feel the fair value gap here, and that we are going higher. Okay, 2,600, 2,800. But this is if we have a bullish weekly close. Let me see the comments. Everything is okay. So now, if we start to lose levels, that's when I will start to get worried, kind of worried, and I'm going to start to be ready for the worst. And that is losing 2,200, 2,100, even 1,800. Okay? And I'm a buyer here. Just for you to be aware of this. I'm a buyer here. And I'll be doing what I've been doing the last months. I buy Ethereum, I do a loan, I cash out, then I do leverage, whatever. Doesn't matter. But I'll be a buyer here. And I'm ready for this. Okay, but only if we start to lose these levels, 2,200, 2,100, and then I'll start looking at this. But now, if you ask me, if we have a bullish weekly close above 2,414, sorry, I do believe that we are going higher. Okay, but if not, be ready for this. And again, if you have fireworks, you know what fireworks mean, and sorry. And you know what's going to happen. Now, let's take a look at Sol. You guys really like charts, right? I mean, do I have some likes? I need likes here. I need you to give me some likes and subscribe to my English channel, this one here. You should. I'm live there. I'll be live there tomorrow to prepare the week. Now let's look at Sol. And I want you to look at Sol. Why? Sol is a nightmare here. Sol, it's a nightmare. This chart is a nightmare, but Sol also moved a lot, right? Went from $8, if I'm not mistaken, from FTX. It was $8. I found out. I think it was 8. Again, 8, 9 doesn't matter, to almost $300. Crazy move, which I didn't got it because I don't like Sol, and sometimes you pay the price of not liking stuff. And right now, I don't like this chart here. Okay, this is the weekly chart. I don't like it, and I'm going to explain why. Although it looks like we found the support around here, these levels. Sorry. Although it looks like we found support here, let's say here, which is good for Sol. Sorry guys, I need to add to my short on MetaMask. Give me just a second. I'm a trade. This is live stream. I don't want to lose opportunities, so I know you guys will understand that I need to short Bitcoin, or add to my short right now. This is how we do it. So even when we are live, you know why I like this? Because now I'm going to add to my short. I'm expecting I'll make some profits, and then I'm going to spend it on this. Look, I'm going to spend on this. Just got it yesterday. This is the MetaMask metal card. So I don't have, I think I don't have the, oh, it came packed here, but I'm using it. 3% cashback. Like I said, I make profits. I hope I make profits, and then I use it all inside MetaMask. So it's what it is. Now that I added to my short, let me just finish here. And I know you guys will understand that sometimes you need to do this. Okay. So I added to my short, and now talking about Sol. This is what I was saying about Sol. I do think we might have found support here. But I think if we have a deeper retraction on the market, like I just said, because of the conflict, whatever, because we need to retrace, I think we might see $50 Sol. Okay, I think we might see $50 Sol. Okay, this is just my opinion, but I do think that we might see it. Now, this doesn't mean we are not accumulating here. We have been defending this for a lot of time. And the $80 has been the line in the sand for Sol. We weak below, but $80 has been holding on, and there are some buyers here. But if we lose $80, then I think you should be ready for $40 Solana. Okay, $40 Solana, $60 Solana. If you are heavy on Solana, I think you should be ready for this scenario. Okay, just my opinion. Okay, I have Sol. I'm not overexposed to Sol. Like I said, it's not that chain that I have a lot of love, because I don't have a lot of love. But yeah, just be ready for that. Okay, but if economy starts to go higher, if we continue to see the expansion, if you have a ceasefire, a lot of ifs, then I think, and we hold 80, then we can start to look for Solana to go higher. Okay, I think there will be some hype for Solana. For sure, there will be some hype for Solana, but it needs, how can I say it? It needs to prove it's not a chain just for memes, because we know why this happened, because we had memes running on Solana, and now no one cares about memes, and this is why Solana is not moving, in my opinion. Okay, I know you have a lot of partnerships, etc., but it's not moving. Now, if we defend the $80, we keep defending this level, and we can break the $110 resistance, then you can start to think higher. But let's be honest here. If you pull this from here, even if you go to 108, it's just a retest of the last move. Okay, so Solana might go higher, might go to 100, 108, 110, but it needs to break this resistance just to prove it's not just a retest after a major drop and then go lower. Okay, just my opinion, but be ready for $40 Sol if the market decides that it's time to drop again. Okay, I don't want to scare you. I know a lot of you hold Solana. Best I can do is $20. Yeah, look, like I said, if you are ready for both scenarios, you'll be happy. If it goes higher, you make money. If it goes lower, you can add. If you have conviction, of course. Like if you have 𝗕𝗏𝗧 conviction, you should be okay. Now, next one. And this one is really important because I think some of you have it or are exposed to it. And I want to talk about 𝗕. I like 𝗕, I have 𝗕, and I said this for a long time. And I said this on my X. I love 𝗕, I don't like the shilling, okay? And then we had that major drama with 𝗕. I did a whole live stream about that, and I'm not going to deep dive on that. I'm just going to look for the charts. 𝗕 defended this level beautifully, okay? $140, $160, or $70. It was defended perfectly by 𝗕. We have buyers here, okay? I was a buyer here. And now I do think there's demand for 𝗕. And I'm not expecting, let's say like this, if we can hold $2.60, let me go to a lower time frame, I think it's easier, yeah. If we can hold $2.60, I know some of you are exposed to 𝗕. I think it's here, I charted before. Yeah, it's here. So if you can hold this level here, then I think you're okay. And I do think 𝗕 is going to grind higher and it's going to do what it should do. But we need to defend $2.60. Okay, if we don't defend $2.60, $2.40, 𝗕 is going to drop. But if we do all this, then I'm expecting 𝗕 to go higher, around $300, $320. Okay, at least here. Okay, I know it's not a major move, but it's something. Okay, then we can conquer this, and we can. And this is why I live stream every day, not every day in English, but I literally live stream every day. But this is why I do this analysis, because if we go here, then I reassess and make my decision if I should sell some, more, buy more, whatever. But this, for now, this is the main message. If we hold this, $2.40, $2.60, and we can at least break this resistance, I do think we are going to $3.80. Okay? Let's say like this. But the first resistance will be $3.20, $3.20 exactly. $320, but be ready for this, okay? Now, if we lose this, this is when you're going, a lot of those of you that have 𝗕 can be worried about. But if we lose this, then you need to look again for 𝗕 at $200, $170, okay? Now, if you ask me, is this an opportunity for me? For me, it will be an opportunity, but I'll be honest with you. I will reassess the 𝗕. How can I say this? Not the subnets, but what's happening with 𝗕. Okay? Just because I didn't like the shilling. And since that I'm exposed, luckily I'm in profit. I was lucky on this one. But I will first understand if there's more shilling. Okay? And if there's more shilling, I will do like I did with some other positions that might go higher, but I don't care. And I'll exit. Okay, this is me. Just my decision, okay? When I see a lot of shilling for one project, for me, there's a red flag. That's a red flag, and I decide to leave. Okay, like I did with 𝗠. In case you're not aware, not because of the shilling, because they froze the wallets, and they are freezing it. And then I decide, look, okay, I don't want 𝗠 anymore. 𝗠 can rip higher, I don't care. I think that time we went from $50 to $5, 50 cents to $5 or something like that. And I said, look, I don't care anymore about 𝗠. If they are freezing wallets, I don't care. So yeah, that was my decision. So regarding 𝗕, this is the level that I want to retain. 240, 260, holding this, you can expect to move higher. Losing this, be ready for $170 for 𝗕. Now let's talk about one that no one likes and everyone hates. I think that's the same, right? And that's XRP. Oh, sorry, I need to open the chart here. And that's XRP. You know, am I allowed to speak about XRP? I think I can talk about XRP. Do you guys allow me to talk about XRP? Let me see. Max leverage long. Dude, I like you being Degen. Now, let's talk about XRP. If you look at this chart, you're going to get scared. Oh, we are going to $1. I hope we do. I don't think we are, but I hope we do. Now we need to go to a chart with a better. I didn't know I had this charted here. Looks like I had. Now, this is XRP, right? And this was the previous move from XRP. This was April 2021, whatever. We retraced to support. Then we had accumulation and we went higher. Now we are at $1.38 after going from 47 cents to $3.70. Sorry guys, I had to say it. No, from 50 cents to $3.70. And now we are finding support at $1.30. We have that major October 10, etc. But we are finding support here around $1.30. Now, there's one thing that I wish, and there's one thing that I think is going to happen. Okay, regarding XRP. Yeah, I wish it could go lower because I wanted to scoop more. I always feel I don't have enough XRP, but that's just me, not financial advice. But if we can defend $1.30, then I do believe that we are going to go higher. The same thing with Sol and with Tau. If we can defend these levels where we are right now, because we are at really important levels right now. Of course, it all depends on Bitcoin. We need to depeg from Bitcoin, but we haven't depegged it yet. So until then, we need to follow Bitcoin. But if we can defend these levels here, $1.30, $1.20, I do believe that we are going higher. Okay? And I think we should go, we can start look at $2. And to be sure that the worst is over, we need to conquer the $2.10 resistance, that's the support, and then we can try to think about higher. I know you guys don't think that it's going to going higher, but yeah, but this is just me. Okay, now if we start to lose this support here, like I wish we did, I think we can see $1 per XRP. Okay, this is the level that I'm looking around these levels here. Okay, so let me put this here, and this is what I'm looking from, let's say $1 to 75 cents. Okay, if we lose the support where we are right now, and I'm ready for this. I can. This is the only case that I can tell you. I'm more ready for a drop than I'm more ready for it to go higher because I want more. But I'm rational. I'm not an emotional investor. Okay, so I'm happy with my bag, although I never feel it's enough. But I would like to scoop more lower. Okay, but I have my discipline. I scoop what I want to scoop every week. At these prices, I don't care. But just for you to understand this is where we are right now with XRP. Okay, if you hold XRP like I do, losing this, and this is a really key level, you need to be ready for sub-dollar XRP. Okay? Sub-dollar XRP. Just for you to understand this. Okay, this is just my opinion that we might go there. Okay, I might be wrong. I hope that this time I'm not. I can be wrong with all the other stuff. Not with this because I do want to scoop more. Now, let me see if we have any. XRP to $1,000. Nah, that's not going to happen. You all know my targets if you follow me. I already said $10 per XRP. If we get there, it's when I'm going to unload most of my XRP. That's when I'm going to do it. So, but my average price is 30 cents. So I'm a patient man. I'm waiting. I still believe we're going there. Now let's look at 𝗖𝗵. I want to look at 𝗖𝗵. I think I have 𝗖𝗵 here. I do. Now let's look at 𝗖𝗵. I need a chart with more history. So they are all the same. I think. Yeah. We already charted 𝗖𝗵 here. So let's look at 𝗖𝗵, understand where we are and where we could go. I know I like 𝗖𝗵. I have some 𝗖𝗵, the token. But honestly, I think it needs to retrace. I don't know if it's going to retrace. But I would like it to have how can I say this? How do I say this? An healthy pullback. Okay, you go to the daily chart here. It kind of doesn't want to pull back, but there the scenarios that I'm seeing here is like we close the weekly above 45, and that's bullish. And I do think we are going to target higher, and we are really close to the all-time high. It's like $17 or $18 to the all-time high. And if we can close above 45, then you should be ready for an all-time high on 𝗖𝗵. In my opinion, okay? If we can close, let me just do like this. Be ready for this. We need to close above this 45. A weekly close above this level, and you should be ready for a jump to the all-time high. But if we start to lose this, if we start to lose here and we reject here, then you should be ready for this. You should be ready for this, okay? And I'll explain you why. When 𝗖𝗵 starts to drop, it dropped a lot, and we saw it here. Look, we went to an all-time high, and then it was all the way down. And I do think that if we reject here, like we already did, then we'll see the same, find support, and then go higher. And I know there are some whales unloading 𝗖𝗵. I didn't follow that story because I think it's noise, but this is just my opinion. Okay, if we do this, then be ready for $30 𝗖𝗵 again. It's not that much. It's kind of the same move that you are seeing to go higher, $17, $18. It's almost the same to come lower to this. It's not that much. Okay, honestly, I don't think it's that much for 𝗖𝗵, and I think you should be ready for that. And I think you should wish that, because I do believe 𝗖𝗵 is a good project, but this is just me. So, sorry, this is just me, and I do think that we might see it. If we don't close a weekly above this, then I think we're going to see it lower, or maybe it's just wishful thinking, then that will go lower. Okay, but these are the main tokens that I wanted to show you and give you some targets so that you could be ready. And now let's look at, let me just close all of this, and we can see, we can close this. Oil doesn't want to drop, okay, but let's see what's going to happen on the weekend. I think watching oil right now, it could be kind of a noise only. Let's look at Bitcoin. So let's see if we can find some trades here. Do you guys want to do some live trading, or should we finish here? Let me know. I'm not going to look at 𝗕𝗏. Do not take me wrong, I'm not going to look at 𝗕𝗏. You buy 𝗕𝗏 just for fun. You have 𝗕𝗏 in your portfolio just for fun. I'm not going to look at 𝗕𝗏. Or bullshit. Another one that I'm not going to talk about that. How many likes do I have? I need to see that. To see if I'm going to close the stream or stay. You need to tell me. Now, let's see if what we have here. We can find the trade. I just added my short here. Okay. So, but I was already short, so I'm risk free. I just added. So my stop loss is here. My stop loss is here. On this entry, and the target is the same. I just added, so, but I might be wrong here. Okay, just for you to understand, I added to my short, so I'm risk free. In the worst case scenario, I'm stopped at break even. And I hope you guys are. You need to join my team on Bluefin. Look, you need to go to the link on the description. Join my team. Look at this, the price pool. It's an amazing price pool, and you need to join my team. You have the link here on the description here. It's called Beat the Bear Bluffing Competition. Let me just stop this. Bluffing competition here. Do this, and we might do something. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. I think this is a good entry for the short. You can try a bit higher, like on this resistance here, but we are talking about the $30 difference here. So, yeah, if you want to take this short, I'm short, as I told you, but be ready that I'm okay because I will stop at break even, but if you can handle this stop loss is super small. Super small. So yeah, if you want to short Bitcoin, I think there's a trade here. Okay, I think this is the trade, to be honest. And remember, when we are doing this, this is the final boss. Okay, if I wanted to take profits here, I will be looking for around these levels here. Okay, this green box is where I'll be starting to take profits on the short. Let's look at Ethereum to see if we have a short here too. Mixed. HYPE just broke through the local VWAP. HYPE has a lot of hype. So, but I do like HYPE. Like I just said, I think HYPE is an awesome project. Let's see what we have here. Honestly, if you ask me, I want to short Ethereum. I want to short Ethereum here. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I think this is a short. Shall we try a stop loss on Ethereum? Let me know what you think. Should we try a stop loss on Ethereum? I think it could try a stop loss here on Ethereum. Small stop loss, something like this. Or we could wait to come higher. Let's do like this. Let's do one thing. You can add a second entry here if you want to. I'm shorting Ethereum right now. Yeah, I'm shorting it. I'll be shorting Ethereum. You don't want me to talk about 𝗬𝗏. I'm going to short Ethereum, but I'll have a tight stop loss because I'm afraid that there might come some news, whatever. And this is a quick scalp, okay? I'll be setting profits around this level here. It's a 2 risk reward. This is scalp, but this will be the final boss around here. So yeah, I'm taking this one now. Are we in? Yeah, we are, right? We are, okay. I'm taking this one the same way that I took this one. Yeah, I'm taking now Ethereum. Let's look at XRP. Just because I know you want me to, all the XRP haters want me to short XRP. Short XRP. XRP is the devil. You need to short XRP, but XRP is not the one frozen wallets. Let me see. XRP is at support here. It's different from the other ones. Unless we lose, we are going to bet that we are going to lose this support. I will not be comfortable here shorting. I'm kind of mixed here, to be honest, with XRP. Although I think the market is going lower, I kind of want to long this. Not the best chart, I know, but I have long worst ones. Or we can wait for a retest here and short it. I just don't think there is an RR to short here. So we are going to leave XRP quiet. No. How is this one going? Were there any news or while I was live streaming that I should be aware, like regarding the 𝗕𝗏𝗏, etc.? No. No, there's all good here. So yeah, but I think it's too risky to take more trades here. Okay, so yeah, we have this one. We have the Ethereum short. I would like to find a long here, but I don't feel comfortable longing now. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. I'll be live tomorrow, like I said, on my channel. It's this one. You have the link in the description. It's Crypto Decoded by Pedro Silva. Tomorrow I'll be live preparing the weekend, and let's hope we do not talk about fireworks today. And follow me on X. See you tomorrow on my channel. I hope, if not, next Saturday here on 𝗏𝗏𝗏 channel. Have a nice weekend, everyone.